welcome to the Tyler Welby Podcast. I'm here today with Ethan Welby. Essentially, guys, what this podcast is going to be about is just our thoughts on anything general, anything we have strong opinions about, or anything that's like really topical right now. We just want to catch our conversations on video. So it's going to be quite relaxed. Some things might not be quite relaxed. But yeah, Ethan, how are you doing today?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, man. So we're going to start off with some questions that we got from Instagram. We're going to get straight into it. We're not going to beat around the bush. So, Ethan, I just wanted to ask you, what's your opinion on going to college versus starting a business in 2023, 2024? What's your opinions on that?
That's a good question. It depends. Do you want to start a business? Does the person actually want to start a business?
Right. Yeah, so I can speak from myself. Personally, I went to college and I also started my own business. So I've kind of seen both sides to it, and there are benefits from both. There's a college perspective, there's a social aspect, there's certain work stuff you do, certain tasks that you do that really do help with, there's a lot of presenting you do, there's a lot of stuff you do. But the work stuff, I just think can be so important because gaining that experience, actually learning how to do something, learning a skill, can be so much more, especially for employers these days. I think that they want someone that can actually do the job versus someone that has a credential that says, but they've done this certain degree. What do you think about that?
No, I agree. I think if the goal is to start a business, it's pointless.
Yeah.
If the goal is to make money, it's pointless. Unless you want to be like an accountant, a lawyer, something where you actually need a degree.
I was going to say that.
Exactly right. So, in terms of college, I didn't go, but university, same. But I mean, if you want to be a lawyer, then by all means, go ahead.
But do you think that people only go to university or college because they get pressured from their parents, from outside pressures from that's the norm?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's they actually want to do it? What do you think about that?
That's a very good question. I think people just live on autopilot in general. I think they just do things because other people do things. I don't think they actually sit down with a pen and paper and think, what is the point of this? I know so many people who have degrees, who will get into a degree, they don't even know what the degree entails.
Right.
They're just there. So people are always going to be like that. And for the people who do think, they think it's so crazy to go to college, to university. So I think you're completely right in that it's very societal, it's very pressured. And
yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think what I did, I took a gap year, and I think this is like insane because a lot of people that go straight from high school, they go straight into college. They have such a little time to think about what they actually want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
High school is just about matric finals, get that done. Then afterwards you think about, okay, what do I want to do? That's not even close to enough time. You don't have enough experience in the real world, exactly. I think, to even make a decision on a 4-year degree that you're going to spend, firstly, a lot of money on.
Yeah, exactly.
Secondly, all your time on.
Yeah. Like
you think for 2 months and then you decide, okay, I'm going to do this for the next 4 years, completely focused. And that's why a lot of people drop out after the first year.
Yeah, it's so dumb because it's like, if you're the thing is the job that you pick, that's going to dictate your whole life.
Right.
You're now going to be this accountant, you're going to be this admin guy, whatever.
Right.
And that's based off of a pick in high school. When you're 18, you're probably half drunk when you make the decision. Like, you don't even know what you're actually picking.
Yeah.
So to pick your whole life at 18 and make that decision, it's kind of crazy. Plus the debt, plus the fees, all of that, it's mad. So I think you made a good decision to take a gap year, just to think at least.
Yeah, I think my gap year, so I'll just give a bit of a backstory if you guys don't know. I spent 8 months working at a construction business, my dad's construction business. I spent 4 months working for a UK marketing agency. So I got quite a lot of experience. I found what I'm good at. I found what I like doing. I found that I like to do some sort of sales. I like to do admin, but it's jarring, man. Yeah. It's quite therapeutic actually, but yeah, so anyone watching that's really thinking like, what do I need to do? I'm in matric next year, or I've just finished matric, and they're thinking, I don't know if I want to spend the next 4 years doing something that my parents told me I need to do, I feel pressured to do. I would recommend anyone to take a year, and don't take that year and just do nothing. Take that year and work, take that year and go travel, but make sure you do some sort of work. So you figure out what you're good at, figure out what you like, and hopefully make some money in the process.
Agreed.
Yeah, so guys, anyone thinking about going to university, even if you finish, I know some people, they get degrees and then they want to study more.
Yeah.
And people that finish the degree and then they spend 300K and they're like, actually, I want to do something else.
Yeah,
They wasted 4 years for what? A
Exactly.
piece of paper.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know some people, they tell me like, oh no, like, I have this degree, it gives me a sense of like, in conversation, people take me more seriously. I guess that maybe like I have a degree, but it's like, versus someone, okay, let me put it this way. I'm an employer. So I'm speaking to an employer. I'm saying, okay, what would an employer actually want to hear? A person saying, I've sat down, gone maybe twice a week to this institution, wrote a few tests for 4 years, versus someone who's had 4 years of actual experience doing the work that they want me to do with proven results.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's kind of a no-brainer in most instances. And the world's changing a lot where everything's digital, you can learn all these skills online. And it's like, I don't want to offend people, but do what you want to do. But I think the experience is 10 times more valuable than a piece of paper saying, I sat here for 4 years writing tests and exams. I know it's a bit more than that. Personally, I'm going into third year of a BCom degree, so I know how all this stuff works.
Yeah. I mean, we've hired like 30, 40 people. I've never even asked for a degree. Like, it's literally pointless. But anyways, people are going to get upset, so we can...
Let's move on to the next question before people get upset.
So we can piss them off more.
Yeah. So, I wanted to ask you, say you're an employer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not an employer, you are someone like that has quite a bit of money, you have quite a lot of experience, you're doing quite well. I'm not saying you are this, maybe you are. But let's say you're that. Then someone comes to you and says, I want to start a business. What would your advice be for that person?
Do they have money? Or are they just starting?
Let's say they're starting out.
Starting out, no experience, nothing.
No experience, coming out of matric. I want to take a gap year, I want to start a business. What would your advice be?
This is like the 40 DMs that I get every week.
It's quite general, but
yeah.
Just baseline.
Baseline? I would say pick something. Like, if you did anything, you would be better than 99% of people.
Right.
Like, so many people that are like, oh, I want to start a business, but then they watch YouTube, like, for the rest of the day. So by doing anything in business, you'll be good. So it doesn't matter if it's like e-com, if it's agency, if it's even freelancing, even just working for someone else, you can get a ton of experience. Like you were talking about sales earlier, it's a great point because if you learn sales working for someone else, you can work on a commission basis and you're paid on how much you earn.
Right.
So the thing is, you essentially have your own little business, just inside of someone else's. Because you won't have your own product, you won't have your own offer, all this delivery and stuff. So I would recommend actually learning sales. I would recommend learning sales and then learning like online marketing.
Right.
Because the thing is, most of the things that you're going to be doing, if you are coming out of matric, you've been online your whole day, your brain is just TikTok at this point.
Right.
So you're most likely going to do something digital.
Right.
And so if you can learn sales and you can learn how to get attention online, getting in front of the people that you want to be working with, converting into sales, into clients, whatever, you'll be in a fantastic position. Right.
And do you think, just a follow-up question, do you think, like you said, it sounds like sales is really important. Do you think sales is like the number one skill you can learn?
I think
one of the most important skills you can learn?
I think it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
If your goal is to make money. The only way you're going to make money is by selling.
Isn't that everyone's goal?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I mean, some people want to be happy. They just want to chill. But
some people, they have like a lodge like somewhere and they just want to catch fish and that's their life.
Yeah.
And they're happy doing that. So
yeah,
there's no money involved. So
yeah, that's not me. But
that's maybe 0.1% of the population.
The thing is, people say that. People are like, oh, I don't care about money. I don't care about money. And then they work 9 to 5 every day, their whole life to pay bills.
Right.
So it's like, if you do all of that, you do care about money. Because if you didn't, you would just stop working. But everyone knows you need money. So people who say that are the worst. And yeah, sales is definitely important. Going back to it.
Okay. So guys, if you want to make some money, get into sales. That's
it's there. Yeah.
Cool. So switching to a little bit of a different topic.
Yeah.
Since the divorce rate's so hectic right now.
Yeah.
What are your opinions on marriage, on relationships? Because it's become quite a big thing recently. Like the rate of divorce is insane. I think it's like over 50% now.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion on just online dating, meeting new people, staying loyal? What's I know you have some strong opinions, but just speak generally on your thoughts.
Before I get cancelled, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so in terms of what? Relationships, marriage?
The thoughts. The thing is, we're both not married.
This is true.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Okay.
And we both have no kids, allegedly.
Allegedly.
So let's start with the online dating. Let's start with that.
Yeah, I think this really creates a culture of like, I can just get anyone I want whenever I want.
Yeah.
And it creates a thing of like, when you have someone, you're happy with them, but there's always that feeling that you can just get whatever you want whenever you want.
Yeah.
I really think it messes up like people's like kids, like people our age, like in the early 20s, like they're in a happy relationship, but there's always that thing of like, I can get something better.
Yeah.
There's always that next thing. And I think the culture these days is it's messing up young people's heads.
Yeah.
And I really think that people need to personally meet people in person versus meeting people online. That's just my personal belief. But obviously you can message people on Instagram and then they reply and then you meet them. But all this dating online, just speaking online, never actually meeting people, I think it's so pointless and a waste of time. And just again, people having all these options, I think it's really messing up people's mentals.
Yeah. Yeah, the guys who just talk to girls all day and don't like do anything, that's kind of... Never mind, I won't go into it. But yeah, I think you're completely right, because it's also... I think Tate said this before I get cancelled. But he was saying
that's not Andrew Tate, it's this other guy.
Yeah.
Definitely different guy. Definitely different guy.
Yeah, so he was saying social media globalized dating.
Right.
So he was like, before, it's like you would just have your city. Like we'd be in Cape Town now, we just know the Cape Town girls, Cape Town guys, all this.
Right.
And it'd just be this one place. But now it's like, if you're like a 7 out of 10 girl and you have Instagram and you have a camera that functions, it's like you can
knows good lighting and knows good camera angles.
Oh man, if they know the angles and they're a 7 and above, like they can get flown out to anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So it's almost like with social media, it's just gotten to stand it up.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's even more difficult for guys to get anything because they actually need to. Because if you look whack, then you're just gonna get nothing. Like that's it. And that's actually another topic that you probably want to talk about, but it's just the digital presence, how you actually look online. Because the thing is, like, you could be you could be fantastic. You could be like 6'9", top shape, you know, making billions and billions. But if you have no pictures on Instagram,
no one knows who you are.
No nothing.
Yeah.
You're gonna get no girls. Besides obviously the ones in person, but I mean online.
Right.
So in terms of my opinions on it, it's just how it is. Can't complain about it.
It's the world now. We have to adapt.
Yeah.
It's the world now, so it's not changing.
Yeah. So you're gonna get good at the angles. On
Yeah.
the side too.
But honestly, do you think that all of the social media and like guys seeing all these girls, do you think it's messing with guys' heads? Because I think it is.
I think there's a lot of things messing with guys' heads.
Yeah, from personal experience, I think just seeing all these girls like getting flown out and I'm trying just as hard with the same age. They in like have a Cape Town girl, they're in like Miami getting flown out for free.
Yeah.
Like I would just say from my perspective, if I was a girl, why wouldn't I want to do it? Why wouldn't I want that? I'm getting flown out for free, like to Miami on a private jet.
Yeah.
I'm getting put in the best hotels for just looking a certain way.
Yeah.
Like if I was a girl, why wouldn't I? So I'm not like shitting on any. Sorry to swear. I'm not shitting on any girls that like do this. But it's like, why wouldn't you? So I think it's become a bit unfair for guys. But for guys, you just need to level up to get these girls. That's how the game is now. So
yeah, bro, like girls should be doing this. Like, why would you not?
Yeah.
Like any girl that's like, oh, I don't have Instagram, that would be fantastic. But that's not real.
No.
So it's like if they do have it, it's like, why are you not using it?
Yeah.
Like that's how you're gonna find a husband, man. Like that'd be like you could reach 100,000 people. Why would you not do it? But what you said is right. It's also like the standards with guys.
Right.
But the thing is, there's two ways to look at it. If you look at it from the standpoint, oh, these guys are doing better than me. This means I need to get better so that I can, have a better life as a man. Then it's like, okay, now you're motivated.
Right.
But for like 90% of people, they look at it, they're like, oh, wow, I can't actually get that.
Right.
Then that's when all like the mental health stuff and like depression, because it's like, it's hopelessness.
Right.
It's like if you see Dan Bilzerian with like the girls.
20 girls on a yacht, yeah.
Yeah.
All 10s, by the way.
Yeah, the girl that you grew up with in Cape Town is in Dan Bilzerian's thing. It's like, yeah, you kind of lost it, man.
Yeah. But I think with a lot of these, like, these guys are a lot older, so guys that are watching, like, don't worry about it now. You still have a lot of time to get...
Worry about it.
No, definitely worry about it, but you need to get to that level if you want, like, all of this, like, money, success, women, whatever you want. But you still have time, is what I'll say to you people. But so what you spoke about earlier, Ethan, I really want to get into, I know we don't have a lot of time, but I really want to get into is like the social media presence and why you think it's important and what you found with your experiences with social media and how it's helped you, not only just in your business, but like also in your personal life. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, for any person in the world, like, you can't ignore it anymore. It's honestly one of the most important things socially. Because the thing is, if someone's seeing you online, which is most likely going to be the way that they see you, the only way that they can judge you is based off of the pictures that you have. There's nothing else. So it's like, it's true that the impressions that people have, it's real. So if you look like you're broke, if you look like you're whack, then people are going to think that.
Yeah, the thing Ethan and I like to say is perception is reality.
Yeah.
If they can see something, that's what they're going to believe because that's their reality.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, I'll chime in on that. My personal opinions and what I've found in my experiences is that recently I've started to post like better quality pictures, taking my Instagram a lot more seriously. And in terms of business, when I message someone now versus before, I get a lot more responses and a lot, like, people pay me a bit more respect. I don't want to say respect, but essentially more people are like saying, okay, let's just say, they see a guy with no picture on this thing, no followers, terrible pictures, they're not going to respond. Versus someone with really good quality pictures, looks like he knows what he's doing, again, perception is reality, they're going to respond. So they see, essentially, guys, what I want to say is, make sure when someone's looking at you online, make sure it's a good viewing. Make sure it looks like you know what you're doing, even if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Make sure it looks like you know what you're doing because that's what they're going to believe.
Yeah.
So,
and it applies to everything. It's like, if you're a guy and you want to get a girlfriend, this is going to help. If you're a guy or girl and you want to get a job, your employer's going to
look at your social media.
Yeah. Same with everything. So this essentially is who you are. In the past, like in the 1900s, like, it'll be judged on how you look. You wear a nice suit, you do your hair up, get a haircut, get groomed, all that. Still do that.
Right.
Don't walk around looking dusty. But you need that plus the social presence. It's mandatory.
Yeah. No, yeah, I 100% agree. And anyone watching, sort your Instagram out because it's going to benefit you in more than one way. Okay, so another question. I don't know if it's going to be quite topical, but anyways. There's this guy, I don't think anyone knows him. His name's Andrew Tate. I don't think anyone knows him. But anyways, there's this guy called Andrew Tate. Yeah. And he's made quite an influence on young men and young women, maybe not positively. But this whole culture, this whole woke culture, this whole like red pill culture, these two sides that are fighting against each other all the time. Do you think, let me put it simply, do you think Andrew Tate is good for society in terms of not just who he is, but in terms of like a conversation starter? And in terms of what he thinks is right, but just essentially, do you think Andrew Tate is a good figure, let's just say, for society?
That's a very good question.
I'm not asking if he's a good person, by the way. I'm just asking, is he a good figure?
I think people, like we were saying with the perception on your social media, I think they take things at surface level and they follow a very herd mentality.
Right.
So they may see a reel out of context, TikTok, whatever, whether you like him or not. He says things that get attention.
Right. Which is smart, by the way.
Yeah. So based on that, people judge it very, very quickly. Yeah. And they see other people say he's a misogynist, all these things, and they just latch onto the opinion.
Right.
The same with like going to university, the same with like political parties, whatever they want. But honestly, if I were to give my, honest opinion on him, I think his message is around masculinity, and people also hate that word, masculinity. But what I think...
And I like to use the word toxic with that as well.
Yeah. But what I think the underlying message is just male self-improvement.
Yeah.
Becoming strong, becoming wealthy, that women can't drive. Just kidding. like all these other positive attributes of men.
Yeah.
That is what I think the message is. So people are going to hate people regardless.
Yeah.
For any reason, whether it's good or bad. Do I think he's a positive influence? I do. But yeah.
You're speaking from your and I'll just chime in on my opinion. Andrew Tate, whatever you want to call him. Certain stuff he says, I really like. I needed to hear.
Yeah.
Like in my life, like get up, do exercise, do more, do your work, whatever. Like I don't understand how people can say that's bad.
Yeah.
How is it bad telling young men to get in shape and to do work and to make money? That's like the two core things that like make you a man.
Yeah.
Be in good shape and make money. So yeah, there's some stuff taken out of context that he says that is quite crazy, but a lot of it's just to get attention. And a lot of it he's making a joke in the video as well.
Yeah.
And people don't watch the whole thing and they don't understand the context.
Exactly, but at the same time, people like being angry. People like
Yeah.
people like that. People like drama. People like hating on something, and that's perfectly fine. It's just how people are. But I think his message is around self accountability. You know, taking control
Right.
of your life,
Right.
and also protecting the people around you, things like that. But again, you know, he seems like a cool guy.
He's polarizing, and I think it creates conversation, which is only positive. I don't like that there's only one side of the story. I like that he's bringing a different side, and people can talk about it.
Yeah.
It's yeah. He's cool. I like him.
Cool guy.
He's a cool guy. Yeah, let's get on to another question. Not sure we have too much time left, but yeah. Okay, let's go to this one. With young people at the moment, what do you think the biggest problems that they're facing in terms of either family, life, relationships, like young people these days? What do you think that is the real big problem affecting them? It can be anything, so just say whatever's on your mind.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, but obviously I'm not a girl. I don't identify as a girl, so I can speak for guys. I think with guys, there's no real purpose. You know,
Right.
I was having this conversation with someone else the other day, and I think the main thing is just that they're not working towards anything. So when you have no target, then you kind of just default to whatever's easiest. And whatever's easiest obviously isn't going to the gym, making money, doing better in life. It's going to be the TikTok scrolling, reels, all that.
Right.
So a lot of guys, they fall into this trap of not having a goal. Whether it's in school, whether it's a 9 to 5, whether it's a business, whatever it is, like, I don't really care. But just by not having something to actually go for, they default to the bad. And the bad's easier than ever. So like eating bad food, social media, wasting time,
Right.
all the other
Video
stuff.
games.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just unproductive things. So I think that, along with not having self-accountability, not taking, you know, control of the situation, I think those are the biggest things. What about you?
Yeah, no, but just to chime on what you said, I'm definitely a victim of those things. I've found myself not having goals, feeling like I have no purpose, and doing those things that you said, going through social media, not having a good diet, not exercising, and you only feel worse.
Yeah.
Like these things, like they give you a bit of a dopamine release, like in the moment, but at the end of the day, you feel 10 times worse.
Yeah.
And then it's a snowball effect of like day after day after day, you feel worse and worse and worse. And I think that chimes into why there's so much mental illness, depression, is because people find themselves in this loop, the snowball effect of, I don't have purpose, let me just do something that's gonna take it off my mind. Or that could be drinking, that could be drugs, that could be anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's one of the main reasons that depression is such a big thing these days. But yeah.
Yeah, completely right. Because if you don't have something to go for, if you don't have a direction, because the thing is, a lot of guys, they actually want to do something.
Yes.
Like, I remember when I was younger, I used to play games, like PlayStation, and I would literally play the game for like 9-10 hours straight. But the reason I mention that is because a lot of these guys, they have the work ethic, they have the drive to do something, it's just not being put into the right thing.
Yeah.
So if they can just change what they're putting it into, from, let's say, games or scrolling on Instagram to something more beneficial, I think they'd be in a lot better position, because a lot of the guys, they don't actually know what to do. And I think that's why Tate blew up so much, because he's just telling guys, like, if you don't work out, you're going to be broke and you'll never have a girl in your life. He just makes it very harsh.
An accountability partner, someone there to tell you that you need to do it.
Yeah, it's not like your other teacher who's like, oh, maybe you should consider working out. He's like, if you don't work out, like you're gonna be broke and you'll never have a chick in your life. It gets the message across.
Yeah. The harsher the message, the more it gets across, in my opinion.
For guys, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a guy, so I'm only speaking from my perspective, but guys really need to hear it like deep in the fields. They need to hear it like that's the problem.
Yeah, you need to feel shame. It's not like, oh, if you people say all these like useless benefits.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, if you work out, you'll increase your cardiovascular function. Like, who cares about my cardiovascular function?
Yeah.
But it takes like, if you don't work out, someone's gonna take your goal.
Damn.
You're like,
bro,
I'm doing push-ups.
Yeah.
Like,
sure. Afterwards, like how to make money.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Like, people, they're not saying the right things.
Yeah.
To get them to do the thing. Like, my fitness, who cares about that? But when you tie it to an actual tangible thing, like, okay, if you don't work out, if you're not big, if you're not strong, like, you can't protect your family. Like, then it's like, okay, now it's real.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. Definitely. That's some really good advice right there. Yeah, that's essentially all the questions that I had. We kind of covered 3 questions in one of the questions. So, yeah, is there anything else you want to speak about? Anything else that's on your mind that you want to ask me, or you just want to speak about?
Yeah, what was that misogynistic thing that you were telling me earlier? That racist, misogynistic comment that you brought up. Tell me about that. Tell the viewers about that.
Essentially, yeah, you know.
Yeah, whatever then.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, essentially, guys, that was a joke. That wasn't real. That's just Ethan making a joke. But yeah, that's the podcast, the Tyler Welby Podcast. Thank you very much for listening. It's the first one, so you guys watching, it's special for me to make this podcast. Thank you very much, Ethan, for being here. I don't know if Ethan's going to be here for every episode. He's going to be here for quite a few, and hopefully there's going to be one every week. Hopefully. Well, he's going to say it, there has to be, but once a week. But yeah, let me know down below if you guys like this, if you want to see more of it, what stuff you liked about, what stuff you agreed with, what stuff you didn't agree with. Just create some conversation. So yeah, thank you very much for watching.